Hi everyone, it's Tuesday. Time for another Tips and Tools Tuesday here at Designs by Donna. Today I'd like to show you how I do my interlocking stitch when I'm working on multi-width panels. An interlocking stitch is used to join the seam allowances on the inside of the panel to keep the layers from shifting when they're hanging. And I like it because when I'm tabling my panels and pulling the fabric across the table, it just helps to keep those seams lined up better than if I hadn't used the interlocking stitch. I like to use a thread that's strong and will glide easily through those seam allowances. This is a Gutermann 200 and it's the weight U151. Typically I'll use something that will blend with the lining or the face fabric. It's not going to be seen because it's just done in the seam allowance. But for today's demonstration and so that you can see a little bit better, I'm using this black thread. I like my stitches to be about 6 inches apart. But rather than using a ruler to measure every one of my stitches, I found that the distance between my thumb and my pinky just happens to be about 6 inches. Don't worry if your hands are larger than mine, just as long as you've got an even distance between each of your stitches, that will work. So first what I'll do is I've threaded my needle, and I like a really long thread so that when I'm doing the interlocking stitch, I can use one thread length for the entire length of the seam allowance. So I'm going to join the seam allowances, put the thread through. Now what I like to do down at the bottom, or when I start, sometimes I start up at the top, if you can see there's a little hole in my knot. So what I'll do is I'll just take my needle, and as a way of securing that, I'm just going to put the needle through that hole and then slip it down. I keep the thread loose rather than tightening it, because if there happens to be any play in the fabric once they're hanging, I don't want this to be so tight that there could be some puckering when they're hanging. Now again, I'm going to put my pinky at that first stitch, and I'm going to put the needle where my thumb placement is. I'm bringing the needle through. I've got a loop, and I'm going to bring the needle through the loop and interlock. Again, I'm leaving a little bit of slack in that. Insert the needle through both seam allowances. Go through an extra time. But don't pull the thread too tight. Using my thumb and my pinky for my guide, I put the needle through both layers, take the needle under the thread loop, and pull, but not too tight. Pinky to thumb, go through the loop, pinky to thumb, go through the loop, until you get to the other end of your panel. Do one more stitch when you're at the end of the panel, just for a little bit added security, and then run the needle down through the surging stitches. To bury the thread. And there you've got it. And that's it. That's all there is to an interlocking stitch. I find that depending upon the length of your panel, if it's a 108-inch long panel, I can probably do an interlocking seam in about a minute maybe 2 minutes. But it's very quick and efficient, and if you continue to do this, you'll find that you'll like the way that your panels are hanging. If you know someone who would benefit from watching this video, hope you'll share it. Hope you like the video. Hope you learned something. Any comments? I hope that you'll share in the comments section below. Hope you have a wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye now.